It's time for Wrestling for the Culture, where we take a look inside to see what the wrestlers of color have been doing this week.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of Wrestling for the Culture. Before we get started, make sure you are tuned in and following the Wrestling Realm. If not, go on to iTunes right now, subscribe to the podcast, go on to Spotify, go on to Podbean, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcast from, we got you covered. And tweet me at Brian H. Waters right now to let me know you're watching. Tweet us at Wrestling Realm. So let's get started. We're going to start off with Smackdown. This past week, R-Truth was victorious in the main event, defeating his former tag team partner, The Miz. You might remember in 2011, they were known as the Awesome Truth. They wrestled The Rock and John Cena in the main event of Survivor Series. Survivor Series I hold special to my heart, as that was the last one I watched with my Uncle Mike. But it was great to see R-Truth get the victory here. I talked about this a lot on this past week's episode of Break It Down with Brian H, episode 31, so make sure you check that out. Then we also saw Sasha Banks and Bayley getting another win as they defeated Ember Moon and Dana Brooke. As you know, Sasha Banks defeated Dana Brooke last week after Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews decided, you know what, Dana needs to be wrestling, needs some competition. Crews was opposed to her going against Sasha Banks, said, that's maybe a little too soon. Nonetheless, they got another win. Dana Brooke wasn't happy as she walked out, appearing to leave Titus worldwide. On SmackDown, Naomi got the win over Peyton Royce, finally getting somewhat even with the Iconics, but as soon as the match was over, of course, they started beating her down, but finally, Naomi got some help. As you saw last week, and you might have paid attention, I was saying, when is she going to get some help? What would happen as Asuka came out there? Everybody been asking, where is Asuka? What's going on with her? She lost to Carmella, and we haven't seen her since. Well, she came to save the day, and now it looks like those two will take on the Iconics in Australia, the hometown of the Iconics at the WWE Super Show. I'm going to put it out there right now. I don't see Naomi and Asuka winning. I don't see heels usually don't lose in their hometown as much as faces do. Back to Raw, Bobby Lashley. He had a performance evaluation, some ordeal with Jinder Mahal, and during that time, Kevin Owens, the man who quit last week, came out and attacked him. So Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, that seems to be where we're going next. This would be very interesting because you have two guys who, I'm going to go ahead and say it, two main eventers in a program with each other. I'm not hating it. I know a lot of people, they would much rather see both of these guys in the Universal Championship picture, but maybe this is what it'll take, because while Roman is taking on Braun, maybe we'll get this as a supplement, and then the winner will take on the Universal Champion. WWE also announced a mixed match challenge for this year, and they put together the teams. One of the returning teams, Naomi and her husband Jimmy Uso. But then we got a new team, as Sasha Banks will be teaming with Bobby Lashley. R-Truth will be teaming with Carmella, and Alicia Fox will be teaming with Jinder Mahal. So I can't wait to see what happens, who wins this. Will one of the teams win it for the culture? Only time will tell. Moving on to NXT, the Velveteen Dream finally gets a win, that perhaps the biggest win in his NXT career, as he defeated Johnny Gargano. As you can see right there, he had a shirt, and he did a Shane McMahon thing. We took the shirt and said, Johnny Failure, and him scoring a pinfall over Johnny Gargano made Johnny Gargano go into this state of mind, and he was wondering, really has to find himself. But nonetheless, it was a great win for the Dream. We'll talk about him in a few minutes again. Moving on, Evolve Wrestling took place at the MCW Pro Wrestling Arena here in Maryland, and I got to give a shout out to my brother Dr. D. As you know, he is the creator of the Dream Wrestling panel. He was let me know that Norman Smiley, NXT's trainer, was on hand. You guys may remember Norman Smiley from WCW. He's very involved backstage. He trains a lot, and he the women who are up and coming. But Dr. D also saw the 3 ladies who took part in a fatal 4-way match, and that was Dementia Rose, Aja Pereira, and Kiera Hogan. The 3 of them, as you can see right there, Doc loves the ladies. 3 of them unfortunately fell short to Priscilla Kelly, who's in the Mae Young Classic. And then the show ended with the Dream coming home, scoring a pinfall victory over Austin Theory. So the Velveteen Dream returns home, his home state of Maryland. I believe, he might claim DC. Some people claim Maryland, some people claim DC because PG County, it's all together. Nonetheless, the Dream got the victory. Moving on, the Mae Young Classic took place this week, and we saw, what they're doing is they're giving us an episode. I guess they're going to do an episode a week leading up because the finals will take place at the WWE Evolution pay-per-view. Nonetheless, it was MJ Jenkins unfortunately falling short to Rhea Ripley, but Lacey Lane scored the upset win over Vanessa Craven. So shout out to Lacey, she will be moving on. And then at Shine, we saw the Twisted Sisters. Holly did and Thunder Rosa retained their tag team titles as they defeated the Cutie Pie Club, the one and only Dementia Rose and the one and only Kiera Hogan. So congratulations to the Twisted Sisters. You do not want to mess with them. They are on a roll. Speaking of tag team champions, we saw Blackout, Ruckus, and Black G's become the new CZW Tag Team Champions. And if you've been paying attention, you know that both of these guys are legends. Obviously, Ruckus is already in the Hall of Fame, former CZW champion, and Black G's is headed there. He's a former CZW World Champion as well. These guys, you can't say enough about them. They are legends legends in this business. So they defeated the Rep, who is another team for the culture. Unfortunately for the Rep, they were not, as Ruckus said, they can add to the Rep that they just got taken out by Blackout. Moving on to MLW War Games. Shane Strickland led his team to battle and led his team to victory as he teamed with John Hennigan, Tommy Dreamer, Cotto Brazil, and Barrington Hughes, and they would take out Sammy Callahan, Jimmy Havoc, Leon Scott, Fulton, and Abyss. So congratulations to Shane Strickland, the former MLW champion, one of the guys who's just killing it up and down all over around the world of professional wrestling. Also at MLW War Games, we saw Jason Cade, who was with Rhett Geddes, defeat Myron Reed. And then we saw the Mac Daddy Ron Starr defeat Jermaine Jubilee this past week at Super Crazy Pro Wrestling in Philly. Ron Starr hit him with the Tokyo Drift. And then last but certainly not least, we saw Miss Ronnie Nicole retain her Angel Gate Women's Championship. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is this week's Wrestling for the Culture. Make sure you tune in each and every week right here on the Wrestling Realm. Make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, The Wrestling Realm, and it's a lot of good content over there. We got a lot of timeless material. I promise you'll enjoy it. And make sure you are subscribed to the podcast, which you could get downloaded to your device each and every week. So, till the next time, I'm Brian H. Waters. Following me at Brian H. Waters, and so long, everybody.